1985. I have several others right over here on the shelf, printed at all different times. I've also got an NIV. I mean, this isn't like I'm just going, hey, look at this. I have this one Bible and it's fucked up. No. I've taken this shit serious. And that's very alarming. And like I said, or tried to say on Jay's show, is that we're finding there's like a patterns that are emerging from this. And I've got to thinking, what's this black thing? What is everything with black? And even now I figured out another one. Okay. On the other show, I said the tie-in with the blacks, we have FAO Schwartz, the toy company, is now Schwartz. The T is gone. Another instance of a T missing. There's something about T's being taken away, like in Charles Schulz.
Just changed their name.
All right.
They have changed the name.
No, this has always been that name. So now Schwartz actually means black in German. All right. There again, a German connection. So back to the Haas avocados. Haas is a German name, but the way it is now, Hass, Hass, that's the German word for hate. And don't we often view hate as black? We have colors for moods, right? We have green with envy, red with embarrassment, right? Hate is black. And there's that black connection again. I'm like, what in the fuck is going on? There's something directing our attention to black or hate or for some reason. And there's the instances of the missing T's. Charles Schulz, I grew up on the Peanuts cartoons. My God, I saw his name down in the corner of the fucking cartoon every Sunday, every day. I have a collection of Peanuts on my of the characters that my mother made out of ceramic on my shelf in the other room. And now the T's gone out of his name. It's not Schultz, it's Schulz. And they're again a German name. So we got a German thing, a missing T. It's just some really bizarre, but it seems to be there's patterns in this,
Okay, just a heads up. I only got a half an hour, and then I got to drop. But going back, because again, there's a question I want to ask you. Before I get to that, I wanted to see your point about proving that there's like a wicked God in the Bible, and then a God that's
well. Anybody that's going to take the firstborn, anybody that's going to take the firstborn of an ethnic group and kill them is not.
Oh, you're talking about the Exodus story, right? Where
yes.
Okay.
Now who can no, this is right before they left. This is where the holiday of Passover comes from. We call it Passover because they put lamb's blood. The Hebrews put lamb's blood on the doors, on their doors, and that way the God would pass over them and not kill their firstborn. But everybody else who wasn't a Hebrew and didn't do this, their firstborn child was killed.
Right.
So God killed a group of children.
But what's your point with mentioning
through ethnic cleansing? That was ethnic cleansing. You don't think that was evil? You don't think that's an evil thing to do? To ethnically cleanse a culture?
I mean, well, we see in the Bible where God's going to wipe out the entire nation.
Well, wait, hold on a second. I didn't ask you about that.
But
I said, is it or is it not evil to select an ethnic group and kill their children? Is that or is that not evil?
I would say no, because
that's not evil. So what made it okay? What made it okay to kill those innocent children for the crimes of their parents?
Well, there are verses in the Bible that speak about that that the children would pay for the sins of their forefathers, but that's a different topic.
That's not even what we're talking about. So let me do something. So let me suppose you had a grandfather.
Dude, I'm literally going to answer the question you asked me. I just asked you two times.
You should be punished.
To give an answer.
It's ridiculous.
You asked me, and I told you I was going to give you an answer, but then when I went to speak, you both went to talk over me. When I said I was
you directed to some other shit that we're not talking about. We're talking about is it or is it not evil to select a group of children based on their ethnicity and kill them because of what their parents may or may not have done.
Okay. Now, if you weren't paying attention, what I said is I mentioned there are verses such as the one I mentioned. Then I said, now I'll give you an answer to what you asked me. That's what I said. Then I got talked over. So anyway, the answer to your question, based upon the scriptures, is there's a reason why God did that. He brought a plague upon those nations, well, multiple plagues, and that was the final straw to set his people free from under that captivity. So you might perceive that as evil. But
well, anyone would perceive it's evil. Just because it's your dude don't make it okay. That was killing children for the crimes of their father. That would be like somebody finds out that your dad did something bad and they come and lock you up in jail for it. Okay? Only more harsh because you don't ever get let out of that jail. That's over. You're dead. You got murdered by God because of some shit your parents did.
Well, I
You don't
subscribe
think that's evil? You don't think that's evil? You think that's fully okay? If you believe that, then you believe that it's okay to ethnically cleanse people because you don't like what their parents did.
Those were
based
listed as
on.
curses.
Am I going to get a chance to respond?
I don't
Yeah,
know
go
how much has anybody else got the chance to respond. Just asking.
Well, to be fair, nobody's asking you a question. The questions are being asked for me, so why would you respond?
I asked the question.
What question did you ask?
I said I just did ask the question.
All I heard was him speaking.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. Talk away.
Okay. Now, once again, I subscribe to something called reincarnation in the Bible, but that's a completely different topic there. But what ties into all of this? Because again, based on the stream you guys did with my boy Jay the other day, there was a verse brought up, and I was so intrigued to see where this would go.
Wait.
Nobody talked about
Your boy.
it.
Wait.
It's a
Are
slang.
you somebody's?
It's a slang word.
Well, that's really kind of belittling, isn't it? To call somebody your boy. You're not God. Holy crap.
Do you know there's something called slang words? Well, you won't get it because you're not from our crowd, so you won't get the gist of it. But anyway, I digress. There's something called slang words. Well, you won't get it because you're not from our crowd, so you won't get the gist of it. But anyway, I digress. Oh damn, where did I leave off? Oh yeah, I was so intrigued to see where this conversation would go about the verse. What is that scripture? Luke chapter 19, verse 27. You brought this up on the stream the other day, but it just got glossed over, and then you guys went back to the Mandela, topic. But I wanted to see where that would go. Like what was the entire reason that verse was brought up? You were saying something along the lines of, this doesn't add up with, the Jesus in the Bible, because here we see Jesus killing people, but then you said that doesn't add up with the Jesus in the Bible. And
That's
then
right.
you didn't go on to anything else. Well, how's that right?
Well, we couldn't go to anywhere else because every 30 seconds, your boy Jay would see a squirrel or some other shit and then just start fucking blurting out nonsense.
Okay, well, guess what? Now you have a chance to answer.
Right. Okay. So we have Jesus telling people, turn the other cheek. Don't retaliate. Right? Don't retaliate. Just because someone gets after you doesn't mean you go back after them. That puts you in the same boat with them. Right? And then we got in Luke 19:27, Jesus is telling his people to bring his enemies before him and slay them. Now, do you think that those two statements are contradictory to one another?
Okay, can I give the answer?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, when we read both of these, they are both being used in different contexts. When Jesus was teaching about turn the other cheek, he was on the scene 2,000 years ago teaching the people, saying, hey, look, if one slaps you, turn the other cheek. But Luke 19 is going into the future when he makes his second return. You do agree that
killing people is okay.
It's only fair if you let me finish. I mean, I don't know why I keep getting talked over. Please let me finish.
Well, because you contradict your fucking self constantly.
And do keep in mind for the audience, he's the one who's getting angry. I'm being chill on.
I'm not angry. I'm just
going. He's being so calm and passive aggressive and sticky sweet. Don't you like those kind of snakes? Just saying.
Oh, snake. Who the hell have I done dirty on here?
No, you're all right, man. Look, I'm not angry. No. I'm just very to the point. Okay.
Frustrated.
Okay.
I'm a type of person. I'm very to the point. So the answer regardless.
Wait, you didn't let me finish.
I know you're going to say this is when he comes back with his mighty sword and chops people up and all this other fucking horseshit that y'all make up.
That's not what I was going to ask you if you would have let me finish. I was going to ask, which in all fairness, it's similar, but not the same question. I was going to ask you is, would you agree based on your teaching of the Bible, even though you don't believe in Christ, do you have the decency to at least acknowledge that Christ in the Gospels speaks about a future judgment where people will have to pay for their sins? Can you at least agree that Christ teaches about that in multiple places in the Gospels?
I can't say that he actually said that. No, I can't. I can't really actually say that he really even existed. Okay.
But based on the story,
I say that is because it is an awful, strange coincidence that whole story seems to be a reboot of a reboot of a reboot of the same story. Okay. So that being said, the people that wrote about what's going to take place, okay, we're doing this all after the fact, and they had different opinions. Most theologians don't regard Luke as actually a credible gospel at all. Okay. And in addition to that, there's those like myself that look at Paul as a complete douche canoe. Okay. I don't even know where the fuck he got any authority to, because a donkey talked to him. Fuck him. This dude robbed and killed people. And then you're going to pass it off like it's okay now because I talked to a donkey. That's ridiculous, man. That's as bad as that Chomo dude that was on the fucking thing the other day.
I seen you made a statement about Paul the other day, and you were, and I don't want to, put words in your mouth, but you were saying something along the lines of, well, Paul, he wouldn't really, fit Christ's teaching, because he was going around, killing people, for believing in Christ. And I was thinking to myself, it's like, well, yeah, when you read the story, it's like he started off as that, yes, but then over, the course of time,
talk to a donkey, and now it's okay.
Can I please finish? Over the course of time, he got converted, and then, taught Christ, and did not.
Wait. Over a course of time, I thought he got fucking struck down, and a donkey talked to him. It was all of a sudden. This wasn't a gradual process. This was like, oh shit, these people are probably going to kill me for what I've done. I better start playing on their team. But being the grabbler that he was, he couldn't help but get his filthy little fingers into the fucking pots of the church. See, that was his whole goal.
Okay, well, oh man. But anyway, going back to the statement. So you're telling me again.
Besides that, I thought you worshiped Jesus. I thought you followed Jesus. Do you follow Jesus or do you follow Paul?
Now you're asking me an entirely different topic, but you didn't even.
But I mean, I'm just saying, it's something for you to think about, really.
It's not something, bro. Do you think you're the first person I'm talking to? I've talked to hundreds of other people over the course of 7 years on YouTube.
Have you ever successfully answered that question?
Yes, I have. But you have asked me multiple other questions that you have failed to give a reasonable answer to. Such as, I asked you, even though you don't believe in Christ, based on your readings of the Gospels, it's like, could you at least agree that there appears to be parts in the gospel where Christ speaks about, he warns that there's a future judgment coming, and those that don't repent,
but it's not by him,
be punished.
He doesn't say he's going to be judging anyone. It doesn't say he's going to be punishing anyone.
What do you mean by that?
Exactly what I said. Tell me where it says he's going to be doing any of this fucking punishing or this judging. That judgment day was already prophesized before any Messiah ever came, that there was going to be a judgment by God, not by Jesus, by God.
Okay, I'll give you this is what I call a knockout. This is a knockout blow. So what about, are you familiar with Matthew chapter 5, actually not chapter 5, chapter 25, and starting at verse 31 on down? Are you familiar with that?
No, refresh me. I could look it up.
Okay, refresh. So in this instance, again, starting at verse 31 on down, there's two groups of people. Christ is asking them, basically judging them how they live their lives. One group, they follow what they're supposed to, the other group didn't. So Christ is sending the group away into a punishment. So are you going to tell me that's not Christ sending this group of people away into a punishment there?
Is that did he violently do that? Did he beat them up? Did he kill them? I noticed there was no bloodshed. I noticed there was no violence. I noticed that all he did was send them away. That was his punishment, was to send them away.
I mean, there are other verses in the Bible that speak about there being bloodshed. So you can't.
It doesn't say Jesus is going to kill anybody. It doesn't say that Jesus is going to judge anyone. It doesn't say that Jesus is going to punish anyone. It says that God is going to do that, not Jesus. Unless you're one of those that think that God and Jesus are one and the same, that's ridiculous. Because who in the hell is he praying to? Himself? Oh me, why have you forsaken me? That makes no sense.
It's like, you don't even have to say that, because I just said, maybe you didn't hear me, that I don't believe that.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying, there's a lot of people believe that nonsense, man.
Well, how about for the audience? Like say, for example, right? I want to keep it decent and friendly, right?
Right.
So
I'm good, man.
For the audience, could you read the verses I just quoted for you?
Yeah. What was it, Matthew? Hold on a second. Matthew what?
Chapter 25, starting at verse 31 on down the rest of the chapter. It goes quick.
25, verse 31, you said?
Yes.
Okay. God damn, how long does that go? Oh, yeah. Okay. Sit back, guys. Get some popcorn. All right. And ye shall set the sheep on his right hand and the goats on the left. Then shall the king say unto them on his right hand, Come ye, blessed my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you for the foundation of the world. Okay. For I was and hungered, and ye gave me meat. I was thirsty, and ye gave me drink. I was stranger, and ye took me in. Yeah, that's talking about God. Naked, and ye clothed me. I was sick, and ye visited me. I was in prison, and ye came to me. There again, God. Then ye and the righteous answered him, saying, Lord, when saw we thee and hungered and fed thee, or thirsty and gave thee drink? when saw we were thee a stranger and took thee in, or naked and clothed thee. Boy, they were long-winded. All they had to say was they were really nice to people. when saw we thee sick or in prison and came unto thee, and the king shall answer and say unto them, verily I say unto you, inasmuch as ye have done it unto one of the least of my brethren, ye have not done it, you have done it unto me. Then shall I say also unto them in the left hand, depart from me, and ye cursed, into everlasting fire, prepared for the devil and his under angels and his angels. For I was and hungered and okay. So that's what you're talking about there?
Yes, that's the notion. So let's go off of what you said. You said something along the lines, and I'll let you rephrase it. But you were saying we don't see where Christ like physically causing people harm, is what you said, correct?
Right.
Okay, so it's not, Christ is not physically causing these people harm by basically sending his angels to cast these people into fire. He's giving the command for this to be done. So he's not the one causing them this harm by commanding this to happen to them, you're saying?
Yeah. You
could agree that's a good point I got there, right?
No, not really, because that doesn't, he's not doing anything to anyone. He's not, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't say that's him doing it.
Okay, well here's the blow. This is the KO right here. Mm-hmm. Isaiah chapter 66, verse 15 and verse 16. Mm-hmm. For behold, the Lord will come with fire and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with.
All right, great. You know what? Hold on a second. E.T. I don't give a fuck about that. We're talking about Mandela effects tonight, okay? You have totally derailed. No, shut up a minute. You have totally derailed this thing off into some theological fucking discussion, which I said I didn't want to fucking get into tonight.
When did you say that?
I said that right off the bat. I said, we're talking about the Mandela effect, man, and your retarded buddy Jay.
Okay, could you acknowledge that just 5 minutes ago?
No, I'm not going to acknowledge anything at all, okay? It's just cockamamie horseshit.
Oh, okay. What I think is going on here is
what I think's going on here is you've decided to come on my stream and you've decided to hijack it and derail it into some kind of a fucking theological bullshit. Okay.
I'm being very friendly with you.
I understand you're being very friendly with me. I can be very friendly with you and talk about the topic at hand. Do you remember what the topic at hand was? Do you remember what the topic at hand was?
Are you going to give me a chance to speak? Yes or no?
It's just a yes or no fucking question, man.
It's like, dude, take a chill pill, man. Nobody's trying to attack you. I mean, chill out.
I know you're not, but you're just totally hijacking this with nonsense.
Just say it and quit explaining to us. We're not your little boys or girls. So just talk to us like we're adults. You can do that, can't you?
I mean, damn, I can, but it's
good.
I don't know if you're able to handle that. So the topic at hand that we've been talking about for the last 10 minutes.
That's because you hijacked it to that, dickhead.
He said we're talking about the Mandela effect.
We're talking about Mandela effects. You haven't said anything about the Mandela effect at all. You haven't said anything about flat Earth at all. You hijacked it to go on and try to spout your fucking Paulist bullshit. I don't care.
Paul. Bro, you're the one who brought up Apostle Paul.
So what Mandela effects or things you've seen change in the Bible yourself personally?
Okay, hold on a second, and this is where
I'm thinking. Tell me to hold on.
I'm going off on theological fucking bullshit. I'm just going to kick
you. Good God, I'm not your boy or girl.
Okay.
We're talking about the Mandela effect. I know you're here to derail me off of the subject. I know you're here to derail me off the subject, but I'm not going to let you.
Just so I'm clear, I do not have freedom of speech here. Am I right or wrong?
Well, it's
I grow up.
Listen. Hey, I'll tell you what. Okay, how about that you start talking about your thing and then I'll start answering you with fucking recipes for different French dishes.
Okay, listen.
Because we are off topic. Do you understand what that means? Off topic, right? Have you ever watched on a television program when they have a guest on there and they come on and the topic is maybe the war in the Ukraine? The guy doesn't come on and tell you what the coolest thing that Coolio just did was, does he? Okay. No, that guest stays on topic. You see?
Okay, let's see if we can be honest or not. Was there a time that I said that I deliberately came on to?
No, you didn't have to deliberately. You didn't have to do it. You didn't have to announce it. That's what.
May I also point out that the main question, and I told you this, the main question I wanted to ask you about was about Luke 19:27 about Christ killing. That's initially
I answered it. I answered it.
Bro, you got cut to shreds. I cut you up, and you clearly see that.
You didn't. No, you didn't. You spouted out your interpretation that someone else gave you of those books. That's what you did.
So how do you deal with
rip anything to shreds? Because what we're talking about is something that has not occurred, that we don't even know is going to occur. Okay? So it's kind of a non sequitur when you get into it because
Wait,
it's
but you're cut
what's
because
the
you said
color
the
of
Bible
error?
doesn't teach that, but I clearly proven it does.
I didn't say what the Bible teaches.
teaches.
Okay. So back to the Mandela effect, right?
See,
So
that's
we've
the only
already
thing you can
found
talk
one
about.
that you have.
That's all you can talk about.
I can
I
talk
don't
about other
like
things.
this.
Was there anything in my fucking description or in the title of this goddamn live stream, ET, that said anything about let's talk about the fucking Bible? Let's have a theological discussion.
I can.
No. If you look real quick, it's right there in your hand. You can look at it. What's it say? What does it say?
Let me go on
Nothing about
YouTube.
that, does it? Nothing.
Give me a second. I'll go on YouTube, look up the name. Just give me 1 second.
How did the fuck did you find this? How did you find this show?
Listen. I'm on a phone, so I'm on StreamYard. I went to YouTube. I got it right here in front of me. It says nothing about talking about.
How did you get this show?
Sovereign, hello to everybody. How are you? Hey, Sovereign, you have the eject button. It's at your control.
I know. I'm about to do it too.
I mean, what did I do to deserve to get kicked off? I'm being very friendly.
I'll tell you what you did. You are derailing the conversation into what you want to talk about.
How the hell am I doing that?
If you notice, because as I stated earlier, there's a title of the video, and down in the description is a little thing that tells you what the show is going to be about.
Okay, now if it's my first time on here, how do you expect me to know that?
I don't know. How did you even find this show?
How did I find it? Because I found it on Jay's subscription list, so he sent me.
Hold up. So you watch?
Jay sent you.
Hold up. Though, see, he just said he doesn't know about YouTube or how it works, but he just explained that he was with other people's YouTubes. Yeah, you did.
What I'm saying
said you didn't know.
Oh, Jay sent you. Just
yes,
say it. Are you a liar? You're not going to be of the devil and lie, are you?
He did not send me. He did not send me.
And how'd you find out that this was going on?
How to find out? Because you guys did a stream and he sent me a link to the stream so I could listen to the conversation.
That's what I just said. So Jay sent you here.
I joined at my own will. I joined at my own will.
Come on, you're lying. God knows you're lying.
I'm not.
Come on. He sees through you. I can see through you. You know God can.
Dude, I join streams all the time on YouTube. You're nothing special, man.
Wait a second. You just said you
let me ask ET a question. Hey, are you an air conditioned hole? Are you an air conditioned hole? Are you an air conditioning hole?
I can't hear what you're saying. Speak a little louder. Speak proper English, please.
Are you a air conditioning hole?
I don't get what you mean by that question.
Okay, you probably don't. Anyways, if you're an agent, you probably get that. So you're probably not an agent. So that's good to know. Yeah.
Do you know that I've been teaching on YouTube since I was 14 years old? So who
hold on. You just contradicted yourself, ET, and you just showed that you're a liar. You just said you didn't know much about this around YouTube and stuff and acted like you were just totally new to the shit. Now you're telling me that you've been fucking with YouTube since you were 14?
I said I'm 20. I'm 20 years old. So
I don't give a shit how old you are. You can't have it both ways. You either know or you don't. And you lied.
What did I lie about? Somebody
said that you didn't know much about this YouTube and you didn't know about descriptions and or the title or nothing else like that, right? And then you just said you was on YouTube now since you were 14.
I have a question.
I said I didn't look at your description because this is my first time I'm here on your channel. So how the hell
why would you even come?
Can I please finish? Just give me 10 seconds. If this is my first time on your channel, how am I supposed to know your rules are in the description if this is my first time here? That makes a little logical sense.
Well, is there someplace else that, and you've been on YouTube since you were 14, is there somewhere else that somebody's putting what the fucking stream is going to be about?
To be quite honest, nobody really reads descriptions anymore. That's like
let me just hold on. Let me finish with one thing. So let me get this straight. You just get sent a random link and you just go ahead and hit it. You don't know what it's about. You just go and just bam, there it is. Because somebody sent you a link.
Whoever comes here to Sovereign, whoever comes here.
You do know that we've been on 100 different streams on 100 different channels, right? So this is nothing new. Like this is nothing special over here. This is easy mode right here. There's not.
So ET,
you don't ever look and see what the title of it is. Somebody sends you a link and you go, "Hey, what's this going to be about?"
Dude,
I have a question.
Did you know how Discord? You can ask in a second, dude. Do you know how Discord works? I can literally see the name of the video and the channel before I even click on it. Did you know that? So you're correct. Go ahead with your question.
Well, you said you teach on YouTube. You've been teaching since 14 years old. I'm just curious what you've been teaching. Is it just very subjects, different subjects?
Look me up. I cover all different fields of belief. My YouTube channel is called
okay.
Look it up.
All right. So it's based on like JC and Christianity, or just goes different ways?
It's mainly based on the Bible, but we do talk about other topics like conspiracies and flat Earth stuff like that.
Yeah, respect to that.
Hold on. What other conspiracies do you talk about, ET?
I'll answer that question. I'll answer it. Just let me finish real quick. So if you look me up, my picture is the same icon I have right here. I have exactly like 802 subscribers. And actually, ironically enough, let me give an invitation. I host open panel live streams every single week on my channel where we let any people call in and have a conversation just like we do here. And I'm very respectable as I'm doing.
How come you don't use your camera? How come you don't use your camera? Just
because
curious.
I'm sitting in the car right now to do this, but I show my face on my channel, so you can't call me a shield.
I'm not calling you anything. I just ask a question. Don't get too defensive about it. I just ask a question.
ET, is that the name of your channel? Challenger Deep?
But the name of my channel is EndTimeTeacher, right? ETT is the name I got here. The channel name is EndTimeTeacher, and my icon for the channel is the same picture you see me here with the hat on. If you look
All right,
up,
cool, man. All right,
so
cool.
So what other conspiracies do you cover over there?
Conspiracies, yeah. I'll answer the question. Let's see. The ones I cover, of course, 9/11. Some of the I want to be careful of the stream. I don't want to, because videos get taken down by using.
Just don't talk about anything from the last 3 years or anything about events that may or may not have occurred in Europe between 1939 and 1945. Right.
But at least the first one you mentioned, which I won't mention it by name, but yeah, I talk about that in Cold War sometime. The first one, certain things like that. But like name me a couple of conspiracies I might know a little bit about.
Well, I mean, that's it. Just 9/11. I mean, and I'm just curious. I mean, you're the one with the list. I'm trying to get into what genre of these things. As far as 9/11, now, what do you think about that? Now, I believe there was no planes involved. What about you?
Wait. Could I ask you a question on that? I'm very intrigued on this. I actually recently just went to the the 9/11 memorial they built there. The water fountains. Have you seen those?
I've seen photographs of them.
Yeah. It's like imploding. It's like a black hole imploding type of square, if I'm correct, right? It's like sinking into itself. Is that correct?
Yeah. When I went there, it's like a massive like cube with a waterfall, and then inside of it, there's like another miniature cube that descends downward where all the water collects and is brought back up.
What's it called? It's almost like a tesseract. It almost reminds me of a tesseract. Is that correct? A square and a square, if I'm correct.
Hell, you'd have to ask my buddy Jay about that because he knows about all that.
Sovereign, would you know what is it called? The cube in the cube. Is it a tesseract or something?
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyways, on 9/11, right? I'm very intrigued to ask you this because I've never had a conversation with somebody who believes that there were no planes used. Let me ask this.
Really?
What about? Well, let me ask the question first. What about all of the footage we have from random people all around the area who were filming the event and they called the second plane hit on camera? Are you saying all those people are all fakes or like what
ones that got? There was no people on the ground that got a second plane on camera.
Wait, no, hold on a second. I can go on YouTube and pull up 30 different videos of citizens.
I can pull up all kinds of videos of airplanes crashing into it.
Please let me finish. You have to be fair and to understand what I'm saying in order to properly respond. What I'm saying is if hold on, brother, just give me a second to form my sentence. If there were no planes used, right? How do we deal with the fact that there's too many people that were recording, right? The first plane hit. So people were recording the tower in shock of what's going on. And then many people captured the second plane coming in and hit the tower. So you're telling me that all of those footages are fake?
Yes. Any footage. Listen, you would have seen it. You would have seen it long before now. And we didn't.
Well, okay? I wasn't alive.
Listen to me. Hold on. You talked. Witnesses on the ground all had differing descriptions of what they saw. Okay. Nobody saw any fucking airplane. Now, here's the thing about New York City. You just said you've been there, you went to the memorial and everything. So then you would know that when you're within the close proximity of that building is about the only time you can really see the whole thing. From your level, when you go a few blocks away, you have trouble even seeing the fucking building.
Well, let me point out.
I'm not done. I'll tell you when I'm done. Hold on. I'll tell you when I'm done. Okay.
Yep.
So the footage we do see of a strike of an aircraft into the building are so poorly done that they are defying physics. You're watching a cartoon. Okay. The plane just melts into the building like an image going into another image, kind of like when Chris Hatfield's microphone got stuck through his neck on the ISS, right? There it was, just went up into his neck like nothing there. See, no resistance, nothing.
There would be a repulsion impact with something like that. It's like firing a gun at a cement block, right? There'd be something going towards the other direction. But yeah, I seen other videos too where they showed orbs. They said it was UFOs, something
nothing
advanced
hit the
technology.
building. It was fucking explosion to cover the controlled demolition. There's nothing more, nothing less.
Okay, just real quick. It's only fair if I get 10 seconds to respond. You made a statement about something like if I was there and looked up and saw the buildings, but I tried to correct you and say, bro, I wasn't alive when the building stood. I was born in,
Right.
not too long after, so I wasn't
I
there
was.
in the building. My mother actually ate at the top of the building, the restaurant they have up there before. But with this being said, right? If you're saying there were no planes used, what about where we see like where the plane struck the building? We see how it lines up with actual plane hitting it, because if you look close, you see. Please let me finish. You see where the two wings from the center went into the building as well. So if it was a bomb and not a real plane, how did they make that effect happen, please?
Have you ever heard of shaped charge? Hold on. And that hole is a problem. Okay, that hole is a problem. We live in the real world. We don't live in a Bugs Bunny cartoon where when somebody goes through a wall, they leave a fucking total outline of themselves, right? That doesn't happen in reality. Okay, an airplane, the wings would snap off long before ever severing any goddamn steel, concrete, and aluminum clad building. That would not happen. In fact, the wings are so fucking
miles an hour, right?
It doesn't. Well, that's another problem too. That plane cannot do that speed at that altitude. It's not capable of that speed at that altitude. The air is too thick. Okay, and that brings us to the problem with the wings. One slight movement on the control yoke at that speed, at that altitude, would rip the fucking wings off. Secondly, the wings would have tore off long before the fuselage finished even going through the building, if such a thing were possible.
So could I ask you a question on this? So if you're saying that planes, can't really fly at the speeds, that low to a city.
No, I didn't. Yeah, at that altitude. That's a cruising altitude speed.
So how would you say airports are fake then? Because how do the planes come in and land if they're not able to operate?
They're not doing 500 miles an hour when they fucking land, and they're certainly not doing 500 miles an hour when they take off. 500 miles an hour is a cruising altitude speed of 35,000 feet or higher.
Well, let's say this. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. And let's say, even if it was going under 500 miles an hour, let's just say that for argument's sake. Let's just say if you're right on that. With that being said, even let's hypothetical argument, say it was going 300 miles an hour. Do you know how fast 300 miles per hour is? Like, can you even visualize something like that?
Yes.
So you're telling me that a plane hitting a building at 300 miles an hour wouldn't add up to the destruction we see with the plane hitting?
No. What would happen if a building? Hold on. What would happen if a building was traveling 300 miles an hour and hit an airplane?
Well, I mean, damn, a building.
Exactly.
It's the same thing.
Well, ET, I have a question towards ET Sovereign, because hold on, because let me just get my piece of information here, and then you two can cross talk and get some more information happening by doing builds. Because I know Sovereign has thoroughly studied into this, and I also have thoroughly studied into this, but not as much as Sovereign. And have you seen the interview with was it janitor or the cleanup guy in the basement when the detonation round? There was before the building fell. Okay, like even half hour, 45 minutes, there was a detonation in the parking lot at the base, at the lowest level, and that detonation made that janitor, if I'm correct, or cleanup guy, his ears were bleeding, and he made it out. He didn't end up dying, but he did define there was an explosion at the base of the building. Defining this is how they started.
I'm not denying that.
But also, AT, I want to throw in one more bit, and then that's that. And then also, Sovereign, maybe you can throw me in the terminology of this explosive. There also was beam pillars, clean cut on angles. That is a special explosive that cuts clean, like iron thick metal bars for detonation for demolition purposes. Do you know the name of that type of explosive?
It's thermite cords.
Yes. And they defined it as impossible for the beams to be clean cut like that with any type of impact. It would have been twisted, bent, charred.
Here's where you're going off, though.
Here's another problem. The airplanes weren't real.
But bro,
how come there was no pieces? How come there was no pieces of airplane?
Just hold on a second. Here's the misconception. I'm not disagreeing that there were explosive used at the bottom of the building. I'm not disagreeing with that. I agree with you that 9/11 was an inside job done by the U.S. government. I'm not disagreeing with that. I do agree there were, some type of, bombs used at the bottom of the building based on my information. But with that being said, I find it perfectly logical and reasonable to believe that planes were used as, we clearly see. And there's tons of reasons why I would say as there was.
Including that impossible spiral that inexperienced pilot did, that fighter pilots said, veteran pilots said would be almost impossible for them to do. But this perfect corkscrew dive, come down and hit the fucking Pentagon. Come on, bro.
Have you ever drone a plane before?
Yes.
Oh, you have? You have a license to drive a plane?
No.
You fly a plane, you don't drive it.
I didn't. I took over the controls in the dummy seat with a guy that took me up in his private plane. So yes, I have flown, and I understand how listen, aeronautics has been a real big interest of mine throughout my life. And so I know how planes operate, why they operate the way that they do. I know why the SR-71 is constructed the way that it is. because of and why its aerodynamics are important for the altitude that it flies at. These are things that I've looked into, my friend. This isn't my first rodeo.
Okay,
So the
now
thing
you
about this,
have the
the thing about
decency
this
to
is,
acknowledge.
if these were airplanes, airliners, right, which is basically what? It's an aluminum tube with wings on it, hitting a steel and concrete structure that was designed to withstand an aircraft hitting it. Okay? And somehow these planes come in and just meld into the building. And then an explosion happens and leaves a hole the shape of the aircraft. Well, we already know that the tail section would buckle. The wings would fold back, not cut through. They would fold back. That's simple physics. We also know that an aluminum tube with a fiberglass nose is not going to penetrate a fucking skyscraper. Okay?
Well, I mean, if it's flying fast enough, like you do acknowledge that. Well, you have the decency.
No, let me tell you something. I have 22. Let me tell you something about a 22 Magnum. I've experimented with those types of thoughts and ballistics. Okay, so I fired a 22 Magnum at a 1/4-inch piece of steel at 50 yards. Okay, it did not penetrate it, but it put a hole in it. But the buckle was coming back toward where the shot came from.
Hold on, Sovereign.
Okay.
So are you saying it made a dent or made a hole? Because you said it didn't penetrate it.
What it did was it slightly started to penetrate, but ricocheted back. But the inertia, the spring back from that bullet hitting came back the other way. It was so fast and violent that the metal work hardened and snapped almost instantaneously, leaving a little punch out. So the debris, it looked like it was shot from the back. It looked
so there's
like
a repulsion.
Yeah.
Repulsion. Yeah.
It's all about the inertia and the materials that are hitting together. Okay.
I agree with you.
Never can you make you're never going to move a hammer with a nail, but you're going to move a nail with a hammer. You understand?
Okay,
exactly.
Just real quick, just 2 points. Can you please pull up the video I put for you in the back chat, and I put the exact timestamp I would like you to go to. And while you do that, I must ask, please let me finish my statement. Why do I keep getting talked over? I let everyone else talk.
Oh my gosh, you say that every time you get interrupted.
I mean, it's like, damn, I shouldn't have to say this.
You do realize, though, E.T., your boy, Jay, this brilliant person that you think is so smart, couldn't keep his thought process longer than 15 seconds tops before he spouted out some kind of fucking nonsense. He was unable to really, the whole time, that's all he did on that show. I'm in the middle of making a point, talking actually to the other guy, because I already know Jay's not picking up on the shit, right? So I'm in the middle of talking to the other guy, right in the middle of it. He's like, "Oh, UFO! What the fuck has that got to do with anything?" "Oh, I don't know. I just said that." It's like, wow.
It's for like comedic effects, I would say.
Well, I missed the comedy part.
Well, once again, you're new around here. You don't know him like I do.
I know what comedy.
He's like a comedian, so to speak.
I know what. Hold on. I know what comedy is.
We're not new around here. But you're old to be new.
Isn't comedy like where somebody actually says something and other people think it's funny? Because it's like maybe a double entendre or an unexpected punchline or something like that. We all get our jokes, right? We got certain jokes among our little circle of dudes. Well, do you think that that's appropriate to put these little jokes in the middle of somebody's sentence and shit that has absolutely no relevance to the topic at hand?
Yeah, I mean,
it's not the mark of an intelligent person, E.T. Not a bit.
If you were to let me finish, I would say perhaps not, right? Perhaps not.
Not perhaps.
That person. Okay, now could I please get to my point? Could you please pull up the video I put in the back chat for you? And while you do that, you do acknowledge, can you at least agree with me that the building had glass, right? Obviously had glass windows on this building, right? Plenty of them. So when this thing hit it going, even if it was going as low as 300 miles per hour, I mean, we could have the decency to acknowledge and agree that if anything was to hit glass going 300 miles per hour, it would go directly through. Could we at least agree?
Not on this building, no, because it was between each one of those very thin panes of glass. Steel girders, concrete, and aluminum. Okay, so it wasn't like it was just big plate glass windows. Okay, this structure was built like. Listen, you just don't even understand, man.
You're telling me
those windows. Look, those windows are only about this wide, with a steel girder, between each one of those fucking windows. Inside the middle of that building was a solid, almost steel fucking frame core that they built the rest of it around.
You're not telling me anything new.
Also, those windows are like a plexiglass, so you can't.
Wait a second. Hold on a second. Are you kidding me? You're telling me that a plexiglass?
Have you ever been up in a high-rise building? Have you?
Of course.
Storm
Well,
glass, man.
try to pick it the next time you're in one. Take a chair or something really heavy and try to throw it through the window and see what happens to it.
Okay, but this is where you're clearly mistaken. Can I throw a chair 300 miles per hour? Yes or no?
Yes,
Obviously.
you can. You could do it.
300.
If you really try,
I think you're
you
trolling
can.
me now. I think you guys are trolling me now, man.
I think you can handle that.
I'm just messing around. I'm just messing around with you. But anyway,
Use the force, ET.
in all seriousness, could you please go to a minute and 50 seconds in this video and play it from there, please?
I'm curious, how did we get on the subject?
Well, let's close off with this. Please just show the video. And I just want to ask, like when I watch it,
I'm sorry, I have to play it. I thought it was under your control. You can share shit too.
Wait, can you? Yeah, let me say.
I got it. I'm going to hit play. I'm going to let it play because I'm making some coffee. I'm going to play the video. You guys do what you got to do. Like, no, I'll be right back. Go ahead. I'm watching it, but I'm back here.
Now let ET talk. He does a lot of it.
I was like, dude, you couldn't have put it at full screen so people could see it now. While we're watching this, as the plane's going to come, you'll see it. I just want to know, like, how is this fake? You'll see it. They pan up and see it. And I bet on one of these boats. There. Watch this. Unbelievable to say this is fake. I can't even believe it. You'll see it. We got to wait a little bit.
Just real quick, I want you to realize that you see every one of those gray lines. Every one of those gray lines, listen to me, every one of those gray lines is a steel girder, bro.
Yep.
Dude, for the 10th time, I watched the construction of the tower,
All right.
I know.
So I'm just saying, your thing about a plane going through plate glass windows is don't hold any water.
Please put it on a larger screen. Are you trying to hide it so people can't see, or what are you doing? But like, why is it such a problem for you to put it on a bigger screen, man? I don't.
Holy crap! Stop whining. You sound like a little tit baby.
Stop whining. You've been whining the whole time. Tell me to stop whining. Get the hell out of here. What the hell are you talking?
You get the hell out of here. You've talked all night and really haven't said anything of any value. I haven't been able to learn anything from you because everything you said is just a bunch of garbage.
Hey, what has the script say?
You perhaps this, you perhaps that. You have no firm foundation. You're willing to just wiggle wobble here and a wiggle wobble there because you just perhaps along the way and that kind of thing. So you have no foundation.
I got a question about this video.
Firm.
We didn't even get to the point that I even.
That's all right. I have a question about it though, real quick. Is that all right?
Yep.
Why is this only from a year ago?
Why is it only from a year ago?
Yeah. Why is it? How come that with this is new and it wasn't around like I don't know in 2002 or maybe even through 2012?
I understand the question. Can I please answer? The reason why is because there could be many possibilities. One possibility could be because maybe somebody didn't want to upload this to the internet, but then they decided to years after the event happened. Another possibility could be maybe it was on the internet, but then another person decided to re-upload the video and this one got popular. And may I also point out, you can easily prove this is a very old video back from the early 2000s just based on the quality of the video. Just point that out.
So would it be possible for me to take an old video camera and shoot something with it and make it appear as though it was filmed back a long time ago? Is that possible too?
I can agree.
You missed one of the big possibilities.
Technically, that's possible.
You missed one of the big possibilities, or this could be fake.
I'd
like to ask a question.
I call
when you guys are finished. I'd like to ask a question.
Wait, but we got to let the video play.
Yeah. All right. So I'm just saying, it's awful damn funny that this finally it just surfaced a year ago. Never seen by anyone before. It just so happens also that this is when we got all this new deep fake technology. It comes out a year ago. Nobody else has ever seen it. It's brand new, but it looks like it was filmed a long time ago. So you missed one of the possibilities that this could be fake. And you know what? It probably is.
Okay, can you please put it at can you pull it at full screen, please? But why can't you do that? Are you trying to hide something, or what's the actual reason?
Sovereign, can you do that? We want to see. I want to see the details too. If you want to, you're the.
What do you want me to do?
Yeah, leave it here. Yeah. This is good.
Okay. Make it big. That's what she said.
Yeah, watch this. It's coming in just a couple seconds. Yeah, watch here. It's coming.
you see that? My lord.
Yeah, you can pause it there. You can pause it there.
My lord.
Yeah, I'm going to
Now,
call
now let me
bullshit
take
on
a
that.
guess. Wait, let me take a guess real quick. This was fake, and those are all crisis actors, correct?
I don't know. You know what? You know what? I am very sus on it because of the fact that this footage would have been seen long before a year ago. Long before. Nobody had a crisis of conscience. This guy would have been, hey, you guys from the news, would you like to buy my footage? I have really good footage of this plane coming in. You even get a better view of it, right? You would have seen that. Somebody would have bought that. He would have sold it. He would have showed it. He wouldn't have waited until a year ago to upload this. I'm calling bullshit.
Okay.
I mean, I really am.
Let me put-
And I'm going to tell you another reason why. Because there were no airplane parts found at ground zero. There were no airplane parts found. How do you have an airplane with no airplane parts?
I mean, well, shit. The metal could have, because if you do the research, right, into the tower after the aftermath of it when it
Who's
collapsed.
we?
they
Who's
found-
we? Who's we? We
What-
did some research. Who's
okay,
we that did this research?
If you want to get down to semantics like that, I can say they. Does that fit
Okay.
your mind
All right.
better?
So who is this they? Who is this magical they that did it?
I suppose what you would consider to be the rulers of the world or the Illuminati, whatever
There
word
you
you
go.
go
So
by.
it's kind of
I have-
like the police. Kind
I
of like
have
when
a
the police
question.
go, we investigated ourselves and found that we
Oh,
did
I have-
nothing wrong.
I have
Okay.
a question.
Okay, wait a
Is-
second. Before you ask the question, let me ask this. How do you know, by your same line of logic, right? How do
Mhm.
you know that the event actually happened and that towers actually collapsed? Because you're not crazy enough to say that the towers didn't collapse in some way,
No.
shape. You're not
No,
crazy
I'm
enough
not
to say
saying that at all.
Okay, so how do you know the towers collapsed if we can't trust any social media? That talks
Well,
about
they
it?
were once there and they are no longer there.
Well, how do you know they're not there if you didn't go and see them?
Well, I don't. You're absolutely
See,
right. You're
cut.
absolutely right.
You're clearly cut deep on that, man.
Well,
It
not
was-
really.
you're one-
Not
you're
really.
one-
That was
one
kind of
beat,
stupid.
and I'm
Have you
two
ever
beats.
have you ever been to my house?
No, but
How
I
do you know
How
you're-
do you know I exist? How do you know I'm not a deep fake robot on TV?
Well, I definitely do know this about you, Sovereign. You lie about your house because you're not on the earth.
Well, yeah. I mean, I miss my wife.
This guy-
You know, I miss
you're-
everybody. I miss the
and-
earth so much. I miss my wife.
And another thing I want to point out is, you see the window to that shuttle space station you're in. That's the all-seeing eye. I got you now, Sovereign.
Wait, hold on. Wait, I got to add on to your statement. Wait a second. Wait, what if Jay was to say that you're a shill because we see you with the globe Earth behind you? So
We
would you
don't
say
care
that-
what
would you
Jay
say-
No,
says.
no one gives a flying. No one. No
Hi,
one.
Dreamy.
Listen,
How are you?
Listen,
You're
listen,
cut.
listen.
I cut your ass deep, man.
You
You
haven't
didn't
cut
cut it
anything.
down.
You haven't cut
You're cut.
anything. You haven't cut.
You're just
Okay.
embarrassed because you caught with your pants down because you came to a
Oh,
sword
with my
fight
pants
with
down.
the-
Maybe
Right,
cool
so-
example.
What happened to the airplane parts, man?
What happened to the airplane parts? They probably got melted among all the other steel.
Probably.
Very
How
reasonable.
come the aluminum cladding on the building didn't melt?
and
Yeah,
all
and
the
aluminum.
reports just
And that's
landed in a
aluminum.
nice little
How
stack
come?
on
What
the
happened?
sidewalk.
How come only the jet melted? Really?
It was made
does
of a
that sound
different.
likely? Now
a
the whole
different
jet's not
solvent.
made out of aluminum. Hold on a second.
It's a-
Okay,
Well,
could
why
I?
didn't they find
okay,
any engines? How come they
okay,
didn't
could I
find any
please-
black box?
Okay, can I please point out? I want to point out a few facts, please. Don't talk over me while I say this.
All right.
Let's first point out the fact that this plane hit it going either 300 to 500 miles per hour. When it hits that, the impact's gonna completely shred this thing apart. And then let's not forget, it's getting how many tons of metal and concrete and whatever other materials the building's made of collapsing on top of it when they collapse to the ground. So factoring all these facts together, it's very reasonable that there's very minimal amount of remains of these airplanes. Very reasonable.
So
Now-
you mean to
now
tell me
let's say
that the
this. If-
78th
if-
floor, hold on a second, the 78th floor smashed down into the 77th floor, and then that made it heavier. So it went into the 76th floor and it did like that? That's what it did, like pancake?
I don't know if you remember this, but I told you I agree that were explosive used
Oh, yeah.
to bring the tower down ultimately. I understand that. And
Well,
of
those
course, if
buildings
that's used to
aren't-
destroy the supports, the rest of the building's going to collapse by that. So no, the planes by themselves weren't enough to collapse the tower. Of course, it was.
Did you
these
know those
explosions
buildings weren't even finished, ET?
weren't even finished. I mean, I'd have to look into it based on my
They
research.
they couldn't afford to finish, and that's what it's all about.
Yep.
And
What part did they not finish?
Well,
What-
everything from the 78th floor down to the lobby,
What part about it wasn't finished?
the floors, that it actually had these levels. No,
And he knows
when you got on the elevator of the World Trade Center, it went from the lobby to the 78th floor. Was the first stop, was the 78th floor.
Okay, if you send me some information, I'll look into that. Now let's say this. I'm being very generous because I said I had to
Yeah,
hop off.
Generous?
Now I can stay for a couple more minutes. So let me just ask this real quick. I'm very intrigued. Are you guys the type, and I don't want to put this on you, so I'm just going to ask, do you guys believe that dinosaurs are fake? because a
Yes.
lot of people are going around saying that.
I do.
What are you
I believe that absolutely.
what are you guys talking about? I engineered them. I brought them to this planet. I assisted with all that.
Okay,
Yes,
so
whether they're
absolutely, unequivocally, absolutely, 100%. Dinosaurs is a fucking hoax to blow the evolution thing along and to give you another sense of always be afraid because a big rock from space could wipe you out, man.
okay,
Well,
now,
that's,
now,
all
I don't
bullshit.
think that's the same
okay,
as a
now could I
dinosaur.
ask you? Could I ask you for 2 evidences for why they're fake?
Okay,
I think
1, you've never seen a dinosaur bone. 2, the very first dinosaur that ever came to be came about from a guy, another Freemason, that he'd been on about there must have been giant lizards. He had no evidence of such a thing. He was just making this claim. And somebody here in the United States found this little tooth, and he couldn't figure out what this tooth was, right? So he sent it off to this guy to find out what it was. And this guy said, this is clearly from a dinosaur. And he drew a picture of a dinosaur and sent it back to this guy. That was the first dinosaur discovery. It was based off of a tooth and a picture that a guy drew. Next thing you know, people start digging up fucking dinosaurs all over the place, but you're not allowed to see the bones because only the special people get to see those. They're hidden away in a safe place. They show you replicas that they've put together. And those are made up of bone meal and epoxy.
You made a couple points. Could I please respond? Because you said a couple things. I think.
Well, I
it's fair
think
to-
Well,
those
you asked me for some
predators
proofs. I'm
that
just
are
giving them to you.
animals.
Okay, but I
Whether you
disagree.
call them
Do you
dinosaurs
have
or
the
whatever.
decency to let me respond, please?
Go ahead, man.
Okay, cool. Now about like I never seen dinosaur bones. Yeah, I've been to many of these, museums around here. Like say for an example, in
Mhm.
Florida, there's this place called the Science Center. I've been there like I believe this is over in Orlando actually, the Orlando Science Center, and they have like a whole area there where they have these supposed dinosaur bones set up. Of course, those bones are replicas of real bones. Of course, they're not going to put.
Well, how do you know they're actually replicas of real bones?
Could I please finish?
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
gonna
just
get-
question.
It's like, dude, I'm gonna get to that, but you have to let me build up to understand what I'm saying. I mean, this is very reasonable. I let you do it. Why can I not do it? I mean, that's hypocritical. So what I was gonna say is that there are real bones, but they're very fragile, and they don't want them, put out here because these things are worth millions of dollars. Just like if you ever looked up something called the Museum of Funeral History, they have a replica of Abraham Lincoln and the exact replica of the gun that John Wilkes Booth used to assassinate President Abraham, right? So is that the real gun that was used? Of course not, but it's a replica of the real one, which is being held somewhere else. So you wouldn't say that it was all fake, right? Just because the real one's being hidden away and there's a replica on display.
Have you seen the bones that are hidden away?
Have I myself seen them? No.
How do you know that there's actually really bones hidden away?
Because
How do
we
you
have-
know that it's not just,
because-
oh, look, a convenient excuse? For instance, I could show you a replica of the Hope Diamond and tell you that I have the Hope Diamond, but I can only show you this replica because the real one is put away in a very, very safe place. Are you going to believe me?
Of course not, but
Well,
here's
there you go.
wait,
There you go. There you go. So if that's your evidence of proof,
that's a straw man because
no,
there's
it's
only
not.
one-
You're saying that someone.
Whoa,
Hold
whoa,
on.
whoa,
You're saying
whoa,
that
you can't
you're
do that.
saying you're saying that the reason you've never seen the real bones is because someone told you that they are stored away someplace because they're very valuable.
Okay,
Now,
is
see,
there?
we're going on.
is
If I
there-
told
is
you
there-
I have $500 right now in my pocket, I have $500 cash in my pocket. Okay,
I could believe you because there
you
are.
could, but do you have any evidence that I'm not lying about it?
No, you could be
So
lying.
you don't
but
know if I'm telling you the
please-
truth
please
or
let
not.
me- oh my God, just give me 10 seconds. The part that you are missing the point on is there's only one Hope Diamond in existence that's being
It
held.
was an example. I know that. It was an
okay, please-
example.
oh my goodness,
Okay.
please let me finish. I have to say this.
Nobody cares
Going
how
by
many
the
Hope
fact
Diamonds there
that-
are.
Dude, just give me 10 seconds to talk. It's like, come on, man. There's only one Hope Diamond in existence. Anybody claiming they have that is clearly lying. Now, as far as your example of you having $500, of course, there's, hundreds of billions, trillions of dollars in existence. So the odds of you having that is very believable. But you
So
claiming you have
what's
Hope
the
Diamond,
odds?
and that's
So,
not true
so
because
what's
it's
the odds that people you don't know are lying to you that they have real bones in the storage, and that's why they have replicas out there?
Okay, can I please respond? The answer to this question is there are millions of people around the world who are paleontologists who their job.
No, there's not. There's not even 500,000 fucking paleontologists. I defy you to find 500 paleontologists that go out in the field and dig up dinosaurs.
If I could send one your way, would you debate a paleontologist?
One?
Would you back out from it to have a debate?
No, I wouldn't back out from it.
So what
Is he going to
happens?
show me? Is he going to show me? Is he going to show me an actual fucking dinosaur bone?
I mean, I'm sure you could get certain permits, and he could take you to show them.
Sure.
Show you them. Yes.
Sure. I bet you couldn't.
Okay. Now let's get to the.
I bet you $100 fucking dollars right now he can't.
This is how I end this discussion. This is the knockout. How do you deal with the fact about the Acambaro stones or figurines. Acambaro figurines. Do you know what those are?
No.
Why did you come here to be so combative? Because you know you're just
Combative?
Because his boy Jay.
you
I'll tell you in a minute.
And what happened to the Mandela effect?
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
he's back
kinda
off that
nuts,
shit
You know,
again.
you just came in here playing your games.
Playing
Yeah,
my games.
People
What's
can
my
see
game?
through your manipulation. You know that, right?
I got a question here.
I got a
Before you
question. How many
hold
of
on,
you
before you
guys
leave
are there,
ET,
man?
before you leave ET, what was the importance of bringing up these subjects? That's my curiosity.
Have you not been paying attention? Apparently you haven't. He asked me about some
You might.
conspiracies. So since we were having a conversation about conspiracies, I asked him one if he believed in it, and he did. So we had a conversation. I mean, how is that not reasonable?
Well,
I mean, I don't
because it kind of taken us again off topic. There's many conspiracy theories. I was interested in your 9/11 thing, but I'm calling bullshit on the film. I'm still hold on. I'm still calling bullshit on the airplanes at all. Okay.
I mean, sure, you're welcome to do that.
I mean, well, it's pretty. I mean, really, what do you
think?
think? What do you think the odds are that somebody waits 21 years? He waits 21 years and then says, you know, I'm going to get this footage out and put it up on YouTube, not give it to the evening news, not even do it back then. Hey, NBC wants to buy my fucking footage, but CNN's offering me more money, or both of them will pay me to have this footage. This is valuable, right? You would have seen it on your evening news. The fact that it only came online a year ago.
Okay, could you
Hold on, a year ago, at the same time as deep fake technology is like really blossoming.
Can you
Really blossoming. I mean,
Yeah.
I can show you. I could make a video using AI or any other kind of thing right now.
Okay,
That
I
will
dare
show
you
an
to do it
elephant
and send
charging
it.
through the White House, you know, and it's not.
Yeah, but it won't be as realistic as the video I shown it, and that's the problem.
That's not very realistic. It's done
I-
in poor quality. It's done in
really?
poor quality
Really?
for a reason.
So guess what? I issue you a challenge. Do me a video that's as realistic, if not more realistic than that. You cannot do it.
All right, I
Yes.
charge $500 an hour to make videos for people.
$500 an hour, man. That's probably as much you make in a year.
No,
All
sorry,
jokes
buddy.
aside, all jokes aside, going back to the dinosaurs. So you don't know what the Acambaro figurines are?
No.
Okay, let me
Is
see
this some
here.
artifact that we have no way of verifying other than the fact that someone told us what it is?
No, you can find hundreds of videos and images of these pictures online.
Right. I understand there's probably hundreds of pictures and videos of these artifacts. However, what validity to the genuineness of these artifacts is there other than what someone tells you?
Okay, I can answer the question and say that based upon my few years of research on this topic, because you see my perspective, let me explain my perspective so you know where I'm coming from with this. Of course, I don't believe in the evolution theory with the Earth being billions of years old. Of course not, that's ludicrous. But the dinosaurs, where do they fit in this with the Earth being, young and with the creation? My stance on it is dinosaurs did live and walk the Earth a few thousand years ago, but over the course of time, they either got hunted out of existence by humans or dwindled in number over time, just like how even in the modern world today, we have...
There isn't.
Please let me finish. Even in the world today, we have species going into extinction every single day. So it's very reasonable to believe that over the course of hundreds or thousands of years, these creatures dwindled in number until they no longer exist and walk the earth at the point today. Now, another fascinating point about this is we have many evidences from the past, even say 1,000 years ago, of ancient societies, carving these images of dinosaurs.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that. I'm familiar. Hold on a second before you get all drawn out. Most of us are familiar. We've been down that rabbit hole. Okay. And I've seen these depictions in so-called ancient artwork and things like that saying, oh, look, there were dinosaurs. And okay, no, I don't think so.
Wait.
I don't
Jay's
see why
backstage.
they would automatically just
backstage.
go away. I know he's backstage. I'm going to issue him.
Why don't you let him on?
I'll tell you why, because I'm going to let him on in just a minute, but I'm going to issue, and I'm going to give you the same advice. I thought you had to go anyways. I was just going to replace you when you left with him.
Well, I mean, I could.
No, you said you had to go.
Wait.
Now you suddenly have time?
Wait, brother, hold on. Well, I technically don't have to go for an hour until.
Oh, well, now you just suddenly got some more time. That's great. That's wonderful. Okay, so now here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do. And I want you as well as Jay, because we have 2-liter Jay, 40-ounce Jay is in the background right now. And here's what's going to happen. Stay on topic, 2-liter Jay. Stay on topic.
What's the topic?
Hold up. Fucking
What's
hold
the topic?
up. Okay. What we're talking about. This is part of it, though. This is going to go, and this is very important for Jay. We're not going to cast any aspersions against anyone. We're not going to call anyone shill. We're not going to call anyone a Mossad. We're not going to call anyone an agent. we're not going to call anyone any of these things unless you have valid receipts to back it up. Okay, that is what we're going to do. All right. So I know, yes, they say that there's these depictions of them, but there again, who are these presented to me by? Who are these presented to me? These things are presented to me by the very same people that are trying to push that bullshit.
Wait, that doesn't make sense because they're trying to cover up these findings. So that logically doesn't
Who
make
said
sense.
they're trying? If they're trying to cover them up, how did you see them?
Do you know what the B-Rex bone is? Do you know what that is? The B-Rex? Have you ever heard of that?
No.
Say that
Is that
again?
another dinosaur they made up?
No, just tell me yes or no if you never heard of it.
I just said no. I've never heard of the B-Rex bone.
What's going on,
The
ETT?
B-Rex.
Did you hear me?
Yeah, what's up, Jay? Let me just.
Do I sound all right, man? I got this new
Yeah,
headset
you're
right.
good to go.
Yeah.
You sound good, but I was expecting a hot female here
Huh?
with this photo.
Oh yeah, man. That's
Some hot Barbie. I was like, woohoo!
yeah, man.
Anyways, Jay,
ETT
how's it
lady.
going? Yes. How's it going, Jay?
Shalom.
All right. So as you were saying,
Shalom.
ET.
What's bracket?
The B-Rex is a dinosaur bone, right? It's a T-Rex
Hashtag
bone
STM.
that was found that supposedly had blood vessels still on it. You had never looked into that?
Yeah, I did hear something about that. I think it's crap. Really, I'm looking
How
at who's
about-
presenting it. Who's
How
presenting
about this theory from some scientists that the dinosaurs evolved into the birds? Now, I can't buy that.
No, I don't believe that. I don't believe that either.
Trans-species
That doesn't mean-
migration.
that doesn't mean
Trans-species
they don't
migration has
exist.
never been witnessed. There's never been any instance of one animal turning into some other completely different species. There's no fossil evidence of it. There's only speculation. You want the evidence for it, they show you some kind of a fucking cartoon. You know, they always want to show you the monkey and going up to the ape man and then the caveman and then us, right?
So,
And it's like,
Sovereign,
where's the one before the monkey? Show me the
what do you
fucking
think?
shit off
What do you
the
think
back.
the dinosaur? What do
I
you
want to
think's
see the
behind
fucking
it?
monkey fish,
Black
man.
power.
Sovereign, what do you think is behind all this dinosaur? If it is fake, what do you think they represented to everybody? For what reason? I'm just curious
Because
what your
there's some
opinion is.
racists.
It pushes that whole Darwin bullshit. By pushing a Darwin agenda of an evolution is to
Okay,
deny the creator.
Darwin
to
was a
deny-
Mason.
Okay.
Wait, guys.
So,
let me
Tulier,
chime in.
Tulier, you remember what I just said there, 40 ounce? Remember what I just said?
That's a fact though. Darwinian.
Yeah,
that's-
you don't.
yeah.
This is.
Satanic.
I'm gonna explain something to you. All right. Stop doing whatever that is, where you just shout fucking weird words and stuff. Just unless you've got a point to make, don't. We're not Twitter.
Well,
We
then you
don't
might
have
as well
to,
boot
okay?
me then, because that's
All
what I'm
right.
all about.
Okay. Well, then,
Hashtag-
goodbye. There.
Okay. Now,
So-
what I was going to say is that by the same line of reasoning, right? Say, for example, as flat earthers, we can all agree that the sun exists. You'll see why I'm asking. Just confirm you obviously agree the sun's real, right?
Of course.
To a degree, yes. I truly believe it's a hologram.
Okay. So now we agree that the sun is real, and
Sure.
mainstream science claims that it's 93 million miles away from the Earth.
Mhm.
We know that's not true, but could
Right.
you at least agree with me? Just because the mainstream lied about the sun's distance from the Earth, that doesn't make the sun fake. You can agree with me on that, right? You'll see why I'm asking.
Well, yeah, that's kind of not even what is your point?
Well, this is the knockout. This is where you get blown completely out of the water. This
Oh,
this
boy,
is a
I can't wait.
cannonball for you, man. So
All
with
right.
that same line of logic, by what conclusion could you then say, well, just because the mainstream narrative lied about what time the dinosaurs lived 65 million years ago, that somehow proves that they're all fake and to push this evolution agenda just because they lied about what time period they lived? That's as
No,
ridiculous.
that's a total straw man argument. It's not a boom at all.
No,
You made a bunch of assumptions in there that are not true. You made a
Give
bunch
me
of
one.
assumptions about
Give
what
me
I
one.
say and what
I have-
and
me one.
what I'm putting.
I'd like to state one final question to ET about you are a conspiracy theorist. Okay, you have your own speculations. My question is, have you arrived to resolve why the towers were knocked down?
Why were the towers?
Yes.
down? Well, I
Yes.
mean, we could all theorize as to why we perceive they might have knocked it down. But
But
truthfully,
your personal opinion. Who cares what the media and other people? Your opinion.
Okay, please let me finish.
Yes.
Okay, as I was saying, we could all theorize as to why this has happened. And truthfully, at the end of the day, the only ones who will know this are the ones responsible for it. Some might say maybe it was so we could, go to war against, the nation they claimed was responsible for this attack. And then, other people might say that it was just to do a attack on the United States. So I would say, based on my view, I would say it's somewhere in between those two. Would be my
Okay.
perspective.
Now I'll tell you my speculation. It was
Yep.
solely and purposely only for an insurance policy cash-in, because the buildings really had no value. As Alvin were saying, they weren't finished. They didn't have the funds to finish them. And the only way they could cash in on them is if a disaster would knock the buildings down. There was so much money made from the profits from the building insurance policy, because the year they were erected compared to the years where they gained value as the property value increased was phenomenal. And these owners of these buildings majorly cashed in, and it could have been a sacrificial ritual to, like MK Ultra, traumatize people to mark it as 9/11 every time somebody sees the clock 9/11, as traumatic conditioning programming for like dark energy harvest, bleed, loosh harvest, something like that. That's my opinion. That's that.
What if I told you? What if I told you that you're both right?
I agree.
Okay, what you have to understand about that whole thing, it was multifaceted. There were a bunch of things that accomplished for the established elite, for the whole system. Okay, It opened the door for endless war at Israel's behest in the Middle East. It also opened the door for draconian legislation to be easily passed because of the fervor of the public in the form of things like the Patriot Act. It aided in a paramilitary government organization called Homeland Security, which then spawned the TSA that has to make your traveling as restrictive as they possibly can right now. It's going to get worse. Okay. As you also mentioned, Lucky Larry Silverstein bought these buildings knowing full well that they were either going to have to be demoed or brought up to code, which would have been an exorbitant cost. It was an upside down investment to begin with. Okay. So he did take out an insurance policy that paid on acts of terrorism like a month or so before the supposed attack.
Go figure.
And collected on that twice because he counted each hit as a separate act of terrorism. You see, in a little greedy grabbler way, they were able to get in on that.
Yo, can I put something out?
All of that became fulfilled. It also was a ritual. Okay, as I've said several times, it came down 33 years after being built. It was built for a ritual. There was a reason. Listen, it wasn't finished in the middle. They built them to tear them down. You understand?
JC buildings, 33.
Can I just point something out real quick? Can you please put a link in the chat? I'd like to point this out. All these cats are on there, talking smack about me, saying, "Oh, I'm gonna troll this, I'm gonna troll that." But may I point out, none of them have the balls to come on here and have a conversation with me.
Maybe some are females. They don't have balls.
Don't know what the hell to talk about. if you got shit to say, click the link. Grow a pair of balls and come on here.
Come on. Let's have it. Let's have the smash down.
Yeah, drop a link. Let's get someone on here.
The link is posted up in the description. The link is posted in the description.
I am mopping the floor with you guys tonight, and I don't mean to be disrespectful. I don't at all mean that.
Do you really think that? Do you really think that?
That's his perception, and I respect that.
You got cut on almost every point you brought up. Not even trying to be mean.
That's really what you think.
Like, what about where I proved to you that Jesus is going to kill people, and then you were like,
"No, you didn't prove anything. You proved that you have an interpretation."
Oh, really? Then why did you run from
no? You proved that your interpretation.
Oh, hold on. I got to hear how Jesus is going to kill people.
Wait, go ahead, Sting. What was that?
How is Jesus going to kill people? I missed that. I didn't come to that part of the
I will answer that question, but in order for me to properly give you an answer, I must know this. Have you ever read the New Testament? Just a yes or no.
I've read many versions of the Bible, old and new, many. I've studied it almost for 20 years, but I've left it. I left it. I went a different route. I took a dark path of part of my ascension. I went to the Babylonian Bible and was sort of under the apprenticeship of Marduk. So I experienced both the light and dark.
Okay, so out of the times that you've read the New Testament, you mean to tell me that you cannot even think of one verse where Christ warns that people should repent from what they're doing, or there's going to be consequences when he returns? You've never seen Christ speak about that.
Of course, there's many verses. Yes, I agree.
So what the hell are you talking about we don't see Christ killing people? We clearly see that in the Bible.
So in what form, though? Like I understand, is he coming through a spirit if somebody does sin, sort of, giving them a disease or something, or let
me say this, that it can happen that way. Certain people, say for example, because according to the Bible, who's the one who's behind death? The Most High is the one who is behind the death of a person. Oh, and quick,
hold on. It says now, though, in Exodus, when he was going through there snuffing the Egyptians' firstborn, that it used to say that he sent the angel of death, and that's why the angel of death would pass over the Hebrews because they had the blood on the door. But now it says that it isn't the angel of death, it's the Lord passes over and kills him. He's actually got his hands bloody with this one.
Okay, now even going by this, right? Let's say, for argument's sake, even if it wasn't the Lord himself who did this, we see in the Bible where God can send deceiving spirits to carry out his will, such as, I'll give you an example. We see this in 1 Kings chapter 22, starting at 18 on down, right? The Lord gave a command. He told the spirit to go be a lying spirit, and they followed his command. Now, real quick, Sing,
Hold on. I'm going to stop you, IT or ET. I'm going to stop you.
Am I getting kicked off?
Hold on. No.
I'm showing too much proof.
You're doing it again. You're doing it again. And I'll say it again. You merely are giving us your interpretation, which we have already rejected it. Okay. There's no need to give us your interpretation of it again.
So you're really, okay,
that's not a win. That's not a win. Hold on. That's not a win.
I'm cool.
Because let me tell you why. You're trying to argue events that have not even taken place. Okay. And your interpretation of events that have not taken place. So once again, you tried to hijack this thing over into what your fucking Bible bullshit
how am I hijacking something by just answering a question?
Because you already went over those points and we said
he wasn't here. But he wasn't here.
Yeah, he was in the chat. He was listening.
Okay.
Could I have a few minutes with ET, like 5 minutes?
Yeah, please, just give me 5 minutes with him, please.
Well, I'm really getting fucking tired of the goddamn Bible bullshit. I really am. Unless we're going to discuss some Mandela effect changes that occurred in the Bible.
Why can't I just answer his question?
One quick question to add. So, ET, do you affiliate JC with the sun?
With the sun, are you talking about
the sun? The sun on our planet.
Okay, please let me understand. Because there are people going out there saying that God is the physical sun in the sky, going off of verse in Corinthians. I don't agree with that. So no, Christ, the Son of God, doesn't have anything to do with the physical sun that we see in the sky. To answer that question.
So Paul wrote that though.
Well, that's your misconception as to what he's talking about. Real quick, so Sing, let me just show you this real quick. Revelation chapter 1.
Now again, your interpretation versus someone else's. That's all you got.
Can I please answer the question?
One thing I'm going to define though, ET, is I have my own information, and yes, JC shall be killing people because it's going to go that way, and I have complete information of that, but it's been interpreted to myself different. Yeah, I do agree with that, but it is much different than people can conceive and perceive what JC is actually representing and what is going to happen. So I agree with you totally, 100% of that.
Okay, so Sing, now you agree that Christ is going to kill according to the Bible. Do you agree? Yes or no?
Oh yeah, definitely. Okay. That's already
for the audience. Revelation chapter 1 verse 18, red letter, Christ speaking. I am he that lives and was dead, and behold, I am alive forevermore. Amen. And have the keys of hell and of death. So who does death and hell belong to? Christ.
Exactly. Yes.
So it's proven that Christ kills. So did you not know that yesterday? Did you just learn that, or why do you even ask me the question? If you are
no, I was just curious in your opinion. What was your perspective
but you never said. Oh, okay.
How it's going to happen. I was aware it's going to happen. Definitely, I know that. But I just wanted your perception, right? Everybody has their own perception. I've been informed differently. You have your bits and pieces of information. This is what I do. I gather information from everyone, and I do builds to enhance my understanding. So I really don't take people's sides. I just grab information that resonates with myself.
No, Rocky Shepherd, hold on a second. I want to address Rocky Shepherd. No, Bible believers.
Rocky.
Bible believers are welcome. Absolutely, 100%. I'm open to everybody. However, I'm trying to get the goddamn stream to be on fucking topic. And this bird keeps wanting to argue his interpretation of shit. And it's we're not talking about that. No one fucking cares what your interpretation of that is. Okay? You'd only have presented your interpretation of something. It's not a gotcha. It's not a win. Now, do you have anything to discuss about the topics at hand?
I do.
Which are, once again, if you want to go into the 9/11 shit, we'll go into the 9/11 shit. You want to go into the Mandela effect, we'll go into the Mandela effect.
What do you want, Robert?
So this is basically what I've got going on here. You've continuously hijacked this thing to preach your fucking beliefs.
Preach my beliefs. You ask me questions and I give you an answer. I mean,
I understand that. And you always go back to some fucking bullshit about Bible scripture that doesn't have goddamn thing to do with the Mandela effects that are taking place in the Bible.
It's like, dude, all you talk about is the Mandela effect. It's like, do you ever talk about...
I just said 9/11. Why are you so afraid of the Mandela effect? Because you're an agent. I've got you figured out already. I have you figured out, bro.
You can join the panel. Can we please be fair and let the new guy talk? It's like, let's give him a chance to say.
Who's the new guy?
Why do you want to shut me up so badly, ET? Am I hitting on a nerve?
Welcome.
You're glowing, buddy. You're glowing like glow, little glowworm. Glow. I'm not kidding. You
Christopher.
go off so agenty, it's not even funny. You're actually really, you say you're a truth person and you're into these conspiracies, and you bought that fucking bullshit video you sent me. You actually believe that? You never once asked, hey, where are the older copies of this? How come I can't find anything that's older than a year old?
Dude, you literally are lying on me because we have videos going back 13 years ago, longer than that.
Show me that video. Show me a copy of that video that's 14, 13 years old.
I mean, I could find it. I'd have to look through my 1,000
Yeah,
videos.
keep on stuttering. Keep on stuttering.
You got the internet, go.
You know, this is completely unreasonable. Yo, Christopher, can you hear us or not?
You can't.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, what's your question?
Keep on stuttering, buddy.
Did you know anything? Or
Christopher.
like, what the hell you came on to do?
Welcome.
Just to talk shit, or like, do you have the nuts to talk?
Oh,
Okay, here we
absolutely.
have it. Let's
Just
hear
throw
it.
some balls and have a conversation. It's like, why are you hiding like a wuss, man? Come on. It's a damn shame a 20-year-old has to tell you this, man. Damn shame.
I want to know why you guys keep on denying the Mandela effect. I want to know why that is.
Oh,
I can tell you a lot about the Mandela effect.
I gave my understanding of it. You're welcome to disagree, but I gave my answer as to what I perceive it to be. Now, if you don't like that, you
But it
are
didn't
welcome
stand up
to
to scrutiny.
disagree.
Doesn't that bother you?
You are welcome. Just shit. I could say the same thing about you. How you're sitting on here saying that Christ don't kill, but I've shown 20 verses, well, more like 5, that shown.
Your interpretation of it is that Jesus
Hello?
is killing people. Okay,
No, we hear you,
we've been over that. We're not going there anymore, right?
Okay, let's
We
go.
don't give a fuck
Let's
what
move.
your interpretation of the Bible is. We don't. No one does.
Hello?
Okay, really, honestly, no
Hello.
one gives a shit.
Can you
Yeah,
hear me?
like your-
I'm not sure if this is coming
Yeah,
through.
I like your
Yeah, we hear
icon.
you.
Yo, what's going on, guys? What's cracking?
You
What's
got the
up?
killer clowns happening.
Fucking jackass again.
No, let
You're
him
out of
talk.
here.
Let him talk. Maybe
No,
he'll
I don't
bring
want him
something.
on here anymore. He's irritating as all shit. He
Well,
has
here's
nothing
what
to
I
do.
think's going on. I
Sovereign
think you're
has said-
afraid to have me and him on at the same time because we're gonna butcher
No,
you
I'm
guys.
not.
That's what
How
I
about
think.
you drop off and I'll bring him on?
All right, cool. I'll do it. Oh wait,
You know what?
and real quick. Have a good night.
Right on, you too.
Dude, ET. Maybe I check out your channel sometime.
Little
No, I will say this, Sovereign. You got a good catch on the second one. First one, I don't know. I can't really make out much
What do you mean?
about the recognition.
Oh, dude, that dude's a fucking agent all over the place. He don't know any more than fucking Jay does. He's slightly brighter. That's it.
All right.
He's just
All right.
brighter.
Welcome, Christopher Fitz. You have anything? You want to get back on the Mandela effect? I had a personal experience